Centum Investment Foundation hosted an event at Villa Rosa Kempinski on the 10th of March 2016. The members of the foundation gave time for the various startups a chance to showcase their products and services. These startup companies come from different parts of the country where they formed great ideas into making them a reality. They include Errand Service. Errand Service, just as the name states, is a company ready to make the heavy loads of their customers easier to carry. They deal in grocery pickups, supermarket pickups, gift buying and delivery, flower delivery, pharmacy pickups, and much more. Bunifu Antivirus is another product Centum Foundation invested in. Two young brilliant men from Baringo made an antivirus. The CEO of Centum, James Moria, made a statement and announced how the governor of Baringo will also take part and buy the antivirus as it will be used in the county systems. For the sweet tooth lovers, we have our very own Kenyan men who made chocolate right from scratch. You can enjoy them with marshmallows, waffles, and even fruits. They are known as Dessert Anyone Limited. In December 2015, they got the chance to market themselves via a challenge event at Thika Road Mall, where they made fruit chocolate, and this served as a great stepping stone for them. They also sell chocolates which is customized to your preference, from the message you want written and even your choice of color and the method of wrapping. The company earns a revenue of 150,000 to 200,000 shillings per month. Elimu TV is yet another company whereby they provide free secondary education through media. Elimu TV can be viewed at the comfort of your home as long as you have a decoder and a TV. We hereby have Elimu TV exhibiting their products and services to convince the investors that the investment is worthwhile. They offer all secondary subjects from Form 1 to Form 4. Elimu TV can be viewed through Signet, Pang, Geotech, and Bamba TV. Their offices are located along Thika Road next to Garden City Mall. Blissful is another great startup company which gives a sustainable way of growth for small businesses. It is an online company that gives a platform for suppliers to find customers and vice versa. Viewing their page is absolutely free. When a supplier or a customer requests for a quotation, that is when one is charged. The cost of one credit is 4 shillings and it costs around 160 shillings to send a quotation request. Everyone wants to remain young and healthy and beautiful, especially the ladies. What better way to do that than to use Alive and Young bathing soap? Alive and Young bathing soap is purely organic and manufactured with goat's milk. Goat's Milk Bathing Soap is sold online through a company known as Alive and Young Skincare. Having secured the funding from Centum Foundation, the startup companies are hoping to grow and establish themselves countrywide and beyond the borders.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Really, it's a pleasure for us to be here today. For many reasons. For one, it's the realization of this dream of seeing the foundation taking off. And today I was quite excited when I came in and I visited the various stands and to see how far we have come. And some of you may be asking yourself, why would we be interested in innovation and entrepreneurship? If you think about the role of Centum in this country, Centum today is the largest investment company in the country. And our tagline is real tangible wealth. It's about creating wealth. But when you think about it critically and ask, where's the real wealth of this country? It's in its people, and particularly in its youth. And the real wealth of this country, it's in those ideas that are in all of us that have not yet had life breathed into them. You've not yet sort of turned from idea to reality. And the world today, the most profitable and the largest companies today and in the future are going to be companies that are grounded in ideas. And just to give you an example and some metrics, if you think about the GDP of this country, it's $55 billion. If you take a company like Uber, it has a market valuation of $67 billion. It was less than 4 years ago, it was an idea. And today it's a reality, and it's a reality that is a global reality. Take a company like WhatsApp, it's half the GDP of this country. If you look at what has happened now with connectivity, it is possible that in the future, or even today, some of the ideas you've seen here may become global ideas and may become large companies. And I believe as Centum, we have a responsibility to play a role in identifying the great ideas that are there and creating value, and even moving a step further, making people believe that it's possible. If you look at the companies you saw today, Creating 48, this was an idea about availing little capital to individuals and groups. 20,000 shillings is not a large amount of money to some of the people in this room. It's money that you may not think about. But this is really capital that has transformed the lives of people, because they got it, they thought of an idea, and today it's a business. And and for me, it's even more than wealth. It's about giving people hope. And I believe people don't just want to be helped by being given money. They want to have that opportunity to manifest something that is great within them. And that's what the role of this foundation is. And I'm really excited by the far you've come, all the various companies, whether it's Elimu, what you're doing in education. The fact that by the time you're done, you'll have at least 4,000 lessons in terms of local content, 4,000 classes that are recorded from Form 1 to Form 4. This is content with 10 that can be sold to schools. It is content where you can have advertisers, you can have students logging in and registering as your students at minimal cost. And who knows, it may be the largest secondary school in this country, and that may go on to tertiary education. And we're really excited to have the PS for ICT with us today. And I've been speaking to the CS about all these initiatives as well. And the biggest support we can get for this company is also government spending on advertising, etc. Because then you don't have to give them money, they just need that opportunity. Or a company like Bunifu that has developed a local version of antivirus software. And just last week I was with my friend Donald Kimkorire, and we met your Governor Cheboy, and we told him about Bunifu. And he said that they're now going to buy antivirus from Bunifu. And it's amazing. And blissful that where you're putting together a marketplace, where you're connecting entrepreneurs, vendors with people in the market. That's a marketplace that can grow to be a sizable marketplace. But it's also a marketplace that offers people with small business an opportunity to get customers. Or what Mlori is doing around just dealing with the logistics issue in this country. And if you think about what that will do in terms of reducing cost of transport, it's truly, truly impactful. So what the foundation is doing, and I want to thank you, Valentine, for the great work you've done, it's impactful. I think for you entrepreneurs, you have a big obligation. You're fortunate to have gotten the funding and the support and the mentorship and the networks and the validation of what you're doing by having that association with the Centum brand. That should be able to open a lot of doors. But beyond that, you have an obligation to be successful. Because out of your success and the return the foundation will get, we will then be in a position to give other people an opportunity. Because today the resources we have are limited. And it's really, really important that you're successful for many, many reasons. One, you saw that that capital can be plowed back. Two, we have had a number of partners who want to partner with us in the foundation and to avail capital to startups. And what we needed to do is to validate the model. And so it's really important, and Valentine has been doing a good job of documenting the process we've gone through and the milestones that you've agreed. Please ensure you meet them, because then we'll be able to unlock a lot more capital from other partners from across the world who want a channel to be able to support startups, innovation, and entrepreneurship. And really Centum should be that channel, Centum Foundation should be that channel. And through your success, you'll open doors to very many other entrepreneurs. The third reason is that you're role models. People, based on what you do, they will then be inspired to also believe that it is possible. So I wish you all the best, and we're looking forward to working even more closely with the ICT, with the government, through the Ministry of ICT, because what you're doing here, what you're starting here is something that has the potential to transform this country. The number of young people we have in this country is just not possible to absorb them in formal employment. And they are educated people, they have brilliant ideas, and it's really a waste of human talent when that talent sits unutilized. And that's what we're working in, and we want to really work closely with government so that then we can open doors for them through government platform. There's no reason why county governments and national governments cannot use this blissful platform to procure. There's been a challenge around procurement and accessing young people, ladies, women, and this has been a big challenge. But you have a transparent platform where pricing is transparent, where the ordinary person who does not need to have any connections or networks, just the ability to have their service and to offer good service, getting an opportunity. Or with Emlori, or with Bunifu, if you think about the amount of money that goes overseas to the Kasperskys of this world on products like antivirus, and imagine if you support this kind of company, they then have the ability to develop other products besides this, or even with Elimu, the money that goes into education. Now, when you are able to give every child in this country quality access to content, regardless of the quality of their teachers, it's a great levelizing factor, but also being able to do so profitably. And so I am pleased that we've had a great working relationship. We are starting off, and I look forward to closer cooperation, working together more closely so that we can really be at the forefront of spurring up this whole innovation age in this country and opening up a whole new era of businesses, where in 10 years' time, the companies that will be IPOing in this market will not necessarily be the land companies. There will be companies that have leveraged on the ideas of the people in this room. With those remarks, I want to welcome my brother, my colleague, the PS in the Ministry of ICT, to share with us a few words. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, James. One of the things I've not been inducted to is how to speak to people. So I'm going to be very brief. Let me recognize the presence of Chris, Dr. Kirubi. I used to, where he said allowed to look at, ask Kirubi. But I used to argue with him on the answers, but today I'll skip that. I want to congratulate Centum Foundation, and fortunately I met the director before, so I was able to learn a bit about it. And the entrepreneurs who are here, I think I've met some of you before. And just looking back in 2010, when we decided then we were ICT board, and we decided one of the areas we need to look at is this area of innovation and entrepreneurship. And we did not get it right, nor did we get it wrong, because we started by giving people some capital seed for them to go and do whatever they wanted to do and meet some milestones. But we did not have the kind of experience Centum has, in that you are looking at these people meeting the milestones and being able to pay back. But what I like most about what I've managed to gather and listen to you is the 4 key things that we've been trying to work on. One is the connector role. I think in entrepreneurship and business, you must get some form of a connector role, which is what is happening here. And that is one of the things that we want to work on. And actually, you're spot on, because we've been talking about Enterprise Kenya, but the biggest challenge we have is formulating it in such a way that it's not a government body, it's a private sector body. And what the role you want it to play is actually the connector role, much more than anything else. Second is active participation. As much as I've met some of you and had some ideas, the ability to really actively participate in your enterprises is very limited when you're in the public sector. But again, when you deal with the private sector, it becomes very easy for them to get that active participation. The third and most important is a catalyst. And that, I think, the public sector and the government we are going to play a role in that in a very big way. But the way we are going to do it is use the private sector players as the intermediaries. Let me just give you an example here. In 2008-9, I was asked to be part of the team which was building the first submarine cable into this country. And I knew we didn't have sufficient budget. And what we agreed is that government will go in, remove the risk from the cable by paying the first 17 to 20% amounts required in that cable build-up, and then invite private sector to come and run that cable by putting in their money during construction stage. We managed to build a cable worth $120 million by contributing only 17 million as government. And today, I normally joke that when I go to the board meeting to represent government, I just take tea and listen to other things, because we are not the majority shareholder, we are minority, and the people who run the cable are the people in the cable business. The fourth and most important is to make sure the role of regulation in this is such that it enables. And as much as possible, I always say, is to make sure there is no regulation, so that actually you get the business to move, and then you follow with those policies and the regulations which enable that business. In this space, and this is my last point, one of the things we've been trying to do, and we've not been able to succeed, but we are still on it, is that we are building up a fund through Enterprise Kenya, and we want that fund to be the fund that will be removing the risk which now is being taken by the private sector. And then, because the startup, incubation and expansion is where we have a bit of a challenge, the startup is always easy, people coming with ideas and starting off. We have a bit of an issue in incubation, but we have even a bigger issue in expansion. So one of the things we are looking at is setting up a vehicle into which government is going to put in money. We'll get managers of that fund who will be private sector, and now what we are demanding is that we want to see a path towards exit. How do we exit from this investment? And we want to start making the GEMS segment of the stock market a bit more vibrant, because that's what we've identified as our exit. So there is room here for us to partner, and I think Centum Foundation has set the pace for us to be able to partner and get this thing to the next level. So I congratulate all of you and wish you all the best. And I can guarantee you before our term is over, hopefully by early next year, we'll actually have opened up the government platform as a platform whereby these ideas can be experimented and grown. And if you want to know that we are on the right track, look at countries like Britain, Ireland, and the rest. Public procurement for innovation and public procurement for industrial growth is one of the things they've used for a very long time. And if we don't take that route, I don't think there's any other funding available which should be used to grow our business. And my last point is, when you look at the way we reconfigured the laptop project, which we now call the Digital Literacy Program, it's possible actually to insist that for this particular project, we want to have a Kenyan company with ABCD attributes, and it must work with at least 4 smaller companies in all the regions where they're going to work. Because the big spend that we spend on some of these things must translate to something which you can build and be able to look at it in future, so that we are able to also produce the same and deliver. So thank you very much, and lots of greetings from our Cabinet Secretary who had to travel. Actually, James thought he was still around by afternoon. I also thought so until the time I talked to you, but then he was sent to represent our boss somewhere. So thank you very much. And
Young guys, I've just come back from Karatina. I spent the whole day driving, and indeed I drove myself. My driver was sitting there very comfortable, reading the papers for me, because I believe in my own driving. And I had a baggage of some bodyguard, I don't know who he was. Anyway, I got home and James called me and said, "You're still coming to our event?" I said, "Okay, I'll be here. I'm so fatigued, but I'm here." which shows you I care for the youth. I care a lot. At Karatina, it was their entrepreneurial day, enterprise day. They had 2 days actually. And I saw a bit of some innovations there as well as what I've seen here. And James, I must thank you for this project. I think we need to cast our net wider, bring more competition. If we have to go and sponsor and support iHub, maybe we can get even more numbers because we can be the leaders. We maybe also go to universities who are mentoring some of these young people who are coming with incredible ideas so that Centum can be known as the driver of supporting the youth. Because I know through Centum, and particularly under James, and the young lady here, what's your name? Valentine, oh, this name, I'm very shy to call her Valentine because I don't want her father to shoot me. Because I know I've been told when you want to be nice to a woman, you say, be my Valentine. And her name really is Valentine. Okay, Valentine, congratulations. I think this is a journey started. You got a long way to go. But I can only mention one thing from what I've seen. You have good ideas, but you don't have the business case. I'm a businessman. Everything I do, I always ask, where's the money? So don't get overindulgent into ideas only. Get unique ideas, but in the back of your mind, be very clear. What is my business case? Who is my competitor? Am I going into a well-trodden path, or this is a unique path? So if you do that, you will come up with something that will gratefully pay you back and also support Centum to support other people. So please don't get overcarried by just ideas. Make them become commercial ideas. We in Africa, we are poor people. When we hear about all Yahoos and all these people, Googles, with all this big money, we should say, when will Africa create our own M-Pesa? Why are you not making an M-Pesa which will be cheaper than the M-Pesa of Safaricom? Yeah? I tell you my own journey into this, believe it or not. I am also in innovation. I employ 150 youth. I've been at it because it's not a short-term goal for 10 years. And I'm just taking traction now. I'm operating in Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Southern Sudan, Zambia, and maybe I'll go to Zimbabwe when Uncle Sam's give way. Because they need me. And Nigeria wants me there, but I said, I can't handle their speed. So I do something called biometric recognition. And some of you who are doing this innovation, your parents, maybe they are my customers. But I'm very quiet at the back end because I support other people's processing capability. I have a company called Smart Application. How many of you have heard of it? Well, I know Centum, they have to use it whether they like it or not. You know, they are consumers. Through my platform, I process, I think, about 5 billion shillings of medical bills. Something I started with friends, about 10 of them. Most of them walked away. They say, this thing is too much. There is no money coming out. Please give me my money back. I've been paying people. I've never collected any dividend from it. But my gratitude when I see these 150 young people from all these universities, JKUAT, KU, Nairobi, and today I was in Karatina, some who are volunteering to become my coders. I feel so proud. So I'm in your space. I'm thinking of something else I'm working on now. And I have one customer to test my idea through. And James, thank you very much for letting me test it on you. You know, guinea pigs don't exist very often. You have to use the rats sometimes. But seriously, and I must allow you to eat food because maybe you are more hungry than me. I think what you are doing, if you take a long-term view, could turn out to be very useful for the country, for yourself, and for the world. So for me is to say to Centum, please, this is a good idea. That is what time has come. And to all of you, please, don't give up. Don't work today and tomorrow you give up on your project. Please have always the idea, what next am I doing? This platform, what I'm doing, what is it allowing me to get to do? Please open your thinking cup. I always tell my friends, thinking is free. Please use it. I thank you all. Please, bon appetit.